legendary horse of Alexander the Great, a timeless icon. In the vast chapters of human history, some heroes are remembered not only for the battles they fought, but for the loyal companions who carried them through destiny. One such companion was the legendary horse of Alexander the Great, known across the world as Bucephalus, a name that became a symbol of courage, royalty, and unstoppable power. This was not just a horse. Bucephalus was the heartbeat of every victory, the thunder that marched beside the greatest conqueror in history. When Alexander rode him into battle, armies trembled, kingdoms fell, and the world changed forever. From the deserts of Persia to the valleys of India, Bucephalus was more than a ride, he was a warrior. With unmatched strength, unmatched loyalty, and unmatched spirit, he carried Alexander through storms of arrows, walls of enemies, and the toughest terrains known to man. Together, they achieved what no other duo in history ever could. A young king and his fearless horse conquering more than half the known world. But what makes Bucephalus truly priceless today is not just his power. It is his legacy. Centuries have passed, yet the world still remembers this golden companion. No one has seen his exact form, no one knows the exact price, but the value is beyond imagination. His shape, his title, his years of loyalty, and his unshakable bond with Alexander carry a worth that no auction could ever measure. Today, collectors, historians, and the people of the world still speak his name with respect. His story is carved into books, painted into art, and whispered in legends. For Alexander, Bucephalus was not just a horse, he was family. He was strength. He was destiny. They say Alexander kept even a goat by his side, a companion from childhood, a symbol of simplicity and loyalty. These creatures were the golden part of his life, the silent partners of a king whose footsteps shaped civilizations. Their value today? Limitless. Timeless. Unmatched. Because you cannot put a price on loyalty, you cannot measure courage, and you cannot auction history. Bucephalus and Alexander taught the world one truth. A great leader is remembered by the greatness of those who stand beside him. And so, the legend lives on. A king, his horse, and the eternal bond that shaped empires. But the story does not end with victories alone. What made Alexander and his horse unforgettable was the unbreakable trust they shared, an understanding beyond words, a connection deeper than strategy or war. When Bucephalus stepped onto the battlefield, soldiers felt hope rise in their hearts. His presence alone was a message. Alexander is here. Victory is near. Legends say that in the cold mornings before battle, Alexander would place his hand on Bucephalus' neck, whispering the plans of the day, as if speaking to a general. And the horse, brave, intelligent, fearless, seemed to understand every command, every direction, every danger. Together they charged into enemy lines, cutting through armies 10 times their size. The world had never witnessed a king so bonded with a creature so powerful. And perhaps it never will again. Even when empires fell and the dust of centuries covered their footsteps, the stories kept growing. Historians wrote about them. Warriors honored them. Artists tried to capture the perfect shape of Bucephalus. His tall frame, the fire in his eyes, the black coat that shined like obsidian, and the unmistakable mark on his forehead like a star guiding a conqueror. People around the world still say, if Bucephalus were alive today, no auction could afford him. Because how do you auction loyalty? How do you price a legend? And the goat Alexander kept by his side added a quiet balance to his life, a reminder of his humble beginnings, of the boy he once was before becoming a king who changed the map of the world. This animal, simple yet loved, became a symbol of grounding strength, showing that greatness is built not only on power, but on the small moments that shape a man's heart. These animals were not possessions. They were symbols. They were living memories. They were the living pieces of Alexander's journey. From a prince to a conqueror, from a warrior to a legend. And as long as people remember Alexander the Great, they will remember Bucephalus. As long as history is written, their story will be told. As long as humanity admires courage, loyalty, and greatness, their bond will remain unbroken. This is why their legacy is auctionless, priceless, timeless. Their worth lives in the hearts of millions across generations. A king may conquer lands, but a legend conquers time. And Alexander, with his mighty horse beside him, conquered both.